because we just say väntar. All right, poker fans, we're back at it. As it turns out, just as I was getting started here, getting set up, getting all the tables, I tried to be a little bit forward today than I normally am. Get all the tables set up, and in the right spots, and all the rest of that crap that goes with it. And we were coming right into the break. So I have actually been played about 3 or 4 minutes prior to this, before the break. And then I looked and saw that we were coming into the break. And I just said, "Screw it! I'm just going to keep it on the loading screen until we're starting." So, just got 2 tournaments coming up. On the 2 tournaments, we're missing here. What's this? Let's see if that'll help. There we go. So, this screen here, down below the green table underneath it, and then just right about here you see the 2 yellow circles. That means I'm in 2 tournaments. I haven't busted out of any. This is a $1.10 tournament, and this is a $2.20 tournament. I'm in 3rd place in this tournament right now. I doubled it through a player that was here, got all of his chips. I flop a straight flush draw. I raise pre-flop. He's in the small blind. He raises. I called it. I flop a nut flush draw. He checks to me on the flop. I jam. He snap calls with ace queen, so just overcards. And I hit flush out on the turn and straight on the river. So lots of different cards there, ways to win. But I saw him do that same sort of thing earlier on against Queen 10 suited here. He's got ace king and he's jammed it in there. So he's just overvaluing his hand, right? What happened over here? Okay, so this is we've moved into, oops, I lost my table. Let me just go find it real quick here. This is the 110 one. So we've moved out of, we're into the rebuy, or out of the rebuy. I'm 18th out of 49. 17 make the money in this one. Uh, 49, let's see, it's 110, what's the payout? So you gotta make it down to the 15th place to get your money back. 16th and 17th place you get 105, and I'm in for 110. So you can see that there's a lot to play here, right? Well, there's not as much play as you think, but there's a lot of play here. You're gonna see a lot of these people just rifle down fairly quickly. So let's come over to this one. Oops. By and large, I'm just looking to find, just trying to find place, pick my spots, right? As that's all you can ever do, really. What's going on here? Oh yeah. We want to make sure, we want to give a really big shout out, by the way. I've missed this last couple of days. Like I streamed three days ago. I took the weekend off. Mrs. Frostmage and I just had lots of different things going on this week, and it wasn't conducive to necessarily streaming. That being said, I could have found a couple hours somewhere in there for sure, but just just yeah. So we want to give a huge shout out to Beam Doctor. Here. Beam Doctor Poker. This is Jared Halter. He is a friend of the stream, plays lots over in, what is it, like the Michigan site. I don't know if it's called Poker Stars, but no, it can't be. It's like the party poker piece. Oops, let's come over to this one. Yeah, we're on this one. He won like $55,000 or so this year in cash and in tournaments, like a scoop tournament and a seat to the main event, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So he's on continuing on a tear. He's also giving like raising funds for the Navajo project. So feel free to go check him out down below on his stream and tell him Noob Frostmate sent you. He'd be appreciative of that for sure. We also want to give a shout out to the following 3 people for follows. Mr. Daily 57 followed 3 days ago. As I said, that was the last day I streamed. That's awesome. Thank you so much for that. That's a good fold. Sky Server Shannon started following me a couple hours ago, 17 hours ago. And Miss Moonlight 0320 just started following as well. That was just a couple hours ago. Now that's actually a friend of the stream. Let me pull that up. What's the other one here? This one here. iFrog88. iFrog88 is actually playing right now. He is from Sweden. Oh, that's a good fold. Oh, that's a good fold. This one here, he raised pre-flop and I just folded this, and this is why, because you can't lose these guys, right? It's queen high, it's a shit hand, and you only have like 10 big, so this is kind of a bully from earlier on. We're still hanging in against this guy, but we're just kind of picking our spots. Anyway, so there's a couple people to go check out for sure. You know who else I want to give a shout out to is Rihanna. She is a WoW streamer. She's a huge friend of the stream. She continues to help me get better at tanking and playing the game. She's also part of the Girls Only stream on Sundays with Master Lynn. What's going on over here? There she is. Hello, Miss Moonlight. Welcome in, welcome in. I was just saying thank you so much for the follow a couple hours ago. And there's, I don't know if you can see it there, but I did give a shout out for iFrog86. As I said, he is streaming right now. He's playing, what is this called? It's a kart rider. Kind of, it's like a Mario Kart, basically, right? But it looks lots of fun. I mean, I don't know if I can squeeze it in there because I got so much WoW and oops, that's a good fold there. WoW and poker, but it is what it is. I see. Yeah, it's tough there because now I have a flush draw as well as the gut shot straight draw. So it's a good fold. Anyway, as I said, we're just starting up. Been streaming for a total of 14 minutes now. Kind of took me a little bit to get going. These are the only 2 tournaments that we're playing right now. We're trying to make a deep run in this one specifically, or starting off with, because that's the one we're on right now. This is, we're 28th out of 35, 17 make the money. We don't have a lot of game here. Let's come back to the bottom page here. Because we're in 29th and there's lots of people's still in there, right? There's a snap call there. Let's come over here. This is a premium hand. We like this hand. Ben Rowe was kind of doing some shenanigans earlier on, so we'll try to push back a little bit here, see what happens. That's good. We also have Crush Live Poker coming up. Wonder if we can listen to that. Oh, well, see, there's that dreaded ace. But it fits our range. They should have an ace here a fair amount of time as well. If it's any pushback, we'll just fold. But Can't be an ace, can't be a jack, right? So this is just an easy fold here, right? We don't think that they have any of that, but we're not going to take the risk. There's no reason to risk that up. We're in 6th place in the chip leader, right? And he's got a long ways to go. We don't need to push too hard there. Easy to get out of the way. Don't forget to hydrate, boys and girls. This is a bottle of water I had that just is absolutely mangled. This thing's in rough shape. I don't recall what happened to this one or why it's like that, but good thing it doesn't change the taste of the water inside. Mrs. Frostmage is... it is Monday, so Mrs. Frostmage and the neighbor lady go out for steak sandwiches on Monday nights. I'm pretty sure I may have to join them, but let's see what happens here. What happened? Faz got disconnected, I think. All right, Faz is out. iFrog is reloading. This is a funky little bug that he's got going on here. What do we have here? It's good enough to go all in. So we'll jam our ace 10 offsuit. It's good enough. I rarely lose kicker war, but these are the fact that now that everyone's folded around to these two guys, yeah, just pick up the blinds and move on to the next hand. What do we got over here? We've got me. Rod, okay. I'm gonna see if I can open up that Crush Live Poker. Because this is Bart Hansen. He does like a call-in show. Let's see if we can hear any of this.
You could win amazing prizes with our new Scan and Pay to Win contest. Simply toggle on Scan and Pay and be
Can you guys hear that?
for your chance to win amazing weekly prizes. Toggle on Scan and Pay today. Only
If
on
you
the Tim
can,
We call it Circoloft.
I will we'll just kind of weigh into what we
to help keep it in use and out of landfills. Discover Circoloft, installation built to explore again and again.
I was playing 510.
He's got his show that he does normally here. See what we have.
At the Wind Creek in Bethlehem. Was that the one that used to be called like the Chester or something like that?
We have ace 10. We're going to have to go all in here.
Oh, it used to be called Sand.
Ace, we have ace 10 offsuit. There's a raise over here, but our hand is good enough.
Yeah. So I don't really play at this casino often. I live in like New York City, and there's a couple of options that are like about the same distance out, and this is just one of them.
Okay.
Anyways, so we're playing 510, 2500 effective.
Okay.
So we got avoid a 3-outer here. Yeah, just avoid the 3-outer. That's all we're looking for. Yeah, that's good enough.
So
We'll get a full double up here. Like to see that.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah. So middle position opens to 30. Next act calls. We have pocket kings in the cutoff. We 3-bet to 120. Small blind cold calls, and everyone else folds.
So you're in the cutoff with pocket kings. You 3-bet to 120, and the small blind cold calls.
And we're out. Ace king versus kings versus jacks. So we're going to be out.
Fold. So it looks like what we're at, 60, like somewhere around 300.
In 27th place in that tournament.
Okay.
How many people were in this one? This is
So the flop is 9.
the 101.
The villain check.
104. 27th
We
place.
bet
Unfortunately,
100.
that doesn't pay
Again, the flop is
diddly,
300 on the
but
flop.
that's okay. Let's keep going.
And villain calls.
Got over
So
here.
you bet 300 after being.
All right, so this is the only table we have going on now. Let's see if I
I
can
bet 100
find
into
another
Oh,
tournament.
100 into 300. Okay.
See
Well, but,
that?
you know, it's actually not
bottom
that
of the
crazy
screen
to go
there.
300. I
We're
was
actually
saying
gonna change
that
this
the-
to a
you know,
red.
when you take a look at a small call,
Because
small
we're
blind
out
type
of
like cold calling range,
the
why
tournament.
would you think that
So let's
that
just find
consists
another
of,
one.
Like I think I would take a larger.
So shout out to
size,
Who
be
Cares
honest
for
with you. Maybe not 300. But
designing
that's why I
that,
wasn't,
coming
like,
up with that.
flabbergasted by when you said 300.
Just
You know
kind
what
of
I mean?
adds
It's
a little
not like,
something to the stream, I think.
Ace 2-7 Rainbow or something like
Gotta-
that. A lot of times, like in these low types of boards, you actually
7
are
max
allowed
deep
to
stack.
take,
We'll get into this one for
larger
sure.
sizings and tighter configurations, you know, with overpairs, which is
This
exactly
is a
what you
7
have. So.
max
Is the idea here to put a lot of pressure
stack.
on like
Well, all
straws here, or-
all pairs have to defend.
So I have a
Now,
spreadsheet and I
if you
track
wanna
all the
say,
different
well,
tournaments that I
you
play
want
in.
to, you know, try to get like ace highs and stuff like this to peel. I mean, what's the primary hand that's cold call?
Deep stack, it's a
you think in
55.
this spot that doesn't contain a pair in the small blind? I mean, I guess it kind of depends on
50.
the player, but I'm thinking of one hand, kind of more like an OMC cold call.
like
know,
ace king?
Ace king, right? So
Oh,
you have two kings, right? So you know
Yeah.
that's less likely, right? Now, if you had two aces, that would even be better. Not only just because you don't even have to protect against anything, but then like he doesn't even have ace queen, right? Like two aces in the spot is interesting because when you have aces, people like to kind of dink and dunk, see open.
Okay, so
try to get,
and
like,
there's
killed by
16
ace
people in
highs,
this
but
one.
You're holding the two.
Let's go find that
aces in
table,
your
shall we?
hand, But I mean, personally, I probably would have taken a 2/3, at least 2/3 sizing. But okay, so you go 100 here.
This one. So now we should be back up to 2 tables
Yeah,
at least.
villain calls.
There we go.
So villain calls pretty quickly.
Yeah.
What's the deal with this guy? Is he like a
Okay, so
younger guy or what?
it's
He's
and
an
then we'll
older
come back
guy.
to our
Yeah, so I guess just some
bottom
context.
thingy down here, and we'll add
The main
another
villain
tournament
is
in
like
there. Just like
middle-aged guy. He hasn't been playing that.
Oh, we got lots of history with this guy,
I
like
think
that.
he's a reg at this table, and I think that the regs playing this game are pretty capable of bluffing. So I had a hand that wasn't with this guy earlier.
So it's not as bad as
You know,
it
like generally like
seems on the
older Asian
surface of
guys
it, of
you can
course,
sort of
but
stereotype aren't gonna bluff you that much, and you know, I generally kind of like lose passive. So this guy's not an older Asian guy. I'm not really explaining this well, but there's another guy at the table who's like an older Asian guy,
Yeah.
and I thought, you know, like older Asian guys tend to be relatively loose passive.
a lot's
And
happening here.
I
Listen to
had a hand
the
with-
I don't know.
YouTube in the back, some music,
I
but
think it depends on the ethnicity.
this guy here. I have him as a medium reg.
Let's not dive into
Really-
too many details.
Yeah,
but
he
it's
has
really
played
Yeah.
Asian guys in LA.
Basic
2,300
basically, I had a surprising hand where
tournaments,
this guy, like,
and he's
first
down
bluffed
260
to,
bucks.
bluff, and
There's
he
nothing wrong
bluffed
with
at,
that,
like,
right?
150% on the
But
turn.
he's got some gamble in him
And I
and
was just like,
whatnot.
shocked that he was making this
So
play
let's,
with
let's
hypothesis.
note here that
So I
you
guess my
can't see
point
what the
from
note is,
that
and
was
that's
that
probably a good thing, right? But
I wasn't
Just
making
listening
too
to
many
it.
assumptions about like, oh, older guys like maybe don't bluff as much or something. I sort of just went into this assuming that like everyone at this table who's a reg is just very capable of bluffing.
Right,
okay,
yeah,
so
I
we
mean,
got
okay, but
stuff
it's
in
not
the
most
background
common
there.
Configuration though, cold call of a three, cold call of a 3-bet where someone's gonna all of a sudden
Yeah, I was
but
kind of thrown off about that. I wasn't really sure what to make of that.
but it's 500.
So we're listening to a Crush Live Poker in the background.
Yeah, so it starts an offsuit 3.
They're playing a 5-10 in Pennsylvania, it looks like, with a 2,500
Now,
effective
you're not
stack. The
telling
mid
us the
position
suits because
raises
I
to
assume
$30.
you assume that
The
they are somewhat
low jack calls. The
irrelevant,
cutoff has
right? Are they
king
irrelevant?
kings.
Yeah, I think they're irrelevant.
Just
Also, I just
Euro,
don't remember
yes.
the suits.
He
Okay.
3-bets it to
No, it's just
120.
that sometimes
small
people
blind
back
cold
into certain
calls,
things when
full
the
fold.
board's rainbow and they don't necessarily pay
It's
attention.
300
But
in the
okay,
pot.
so we are at 500 and it's 9433.
So 9-4-3 rainbow, small blind.
Yeah.
Checks.
I'm pretty happy. When he checks to me, I'm pretty
Hero
happy to bet
leads
here.
for $100 on third pot.
I bet 300.
River, or the turn is
Wasn't
a
really sure if I
3
won.
rainbow.
Sorry.
Bet 3 into 5.
Yeah, 3 and 5.
It's 500 in there.
He raises me to 900. And
So our hero leads for 300 on the turn, and then villain check raises him to 900.
900. So what are we scared of here? Like, what's the most? Well, there's two hands, right? Although I would think that. I don't know which one. I mean, the two hands that glaringly sort of stick out.
Hero bet size doesn't look so
I'm
weak.
trying to think of which one
I mean,
would be more.
9-9's the only hand we're afraid of. I don't know about that, but
his value is like 9.
so now they're just
or
this guy's giving the story and Bart's giving
I
some
don't
sort of
think that- I don't
analysis
think
here.
he folds-
I was thinking 9.
I don't think there's anything wrong with.
He could be slow playing aces. Is the other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
such
thinking
an
9 to
unusual
aces,
thing
and
to
I
be
was
slow
trying to
playing
figure
here.
out
I
if,
don't think so.
How often 9s would actually play it this fast. Because a lot of times guys
This
will
fast?
Yeah, this fast. Like even just check calling and then check
Oh.
raising. Yeah, well, because you know, this is a pretty good triple barrel board, and sure, like he calls the flop. I mean, I
If he has
suppose,
aces,
you
he
know,
can have
he wants to put
fours.
some
Yeah.
money in here. I mean,
So, I mean, it's
not
possible
out
in
of
the
left
small
field that he
blind.
check
Nah.
raise 900 because you know, there can be a lot of cards at the end that he might not necessarily.
No, he's not having aces here.
But people tend to slow
Right?
play
Because
a little
it's
bit, so I'm
to
trying to
30,
think in my head, like, is
a
this more
call,
likely to be
a
aces
raise.
or more likely
You don't want to
be
have the middle
nines
position
back
and
to
the
the
late
fold.
calling,
Sometimes people who flat with aces will
right?
raise right away on the
So
flop.
he looks to raise
But he goes
ISO.
to 900,
No, I don't
he
think
called
that's.
rather
It's
quickly,
unlikely
so
that it
let me ask
has
you this
that.
question. What do you
That he
think
has
bluffs
aces here. He
Oh,
could
I
have
didn't- I
threes,
didn't call
fours, and
rather than I
five.
thought
Three,
about it.
fours, and
You said
nines.
that
Oh, but I was
Just
pretty
wants
sure
to see
it
it,
was
but
Oh,
it's
yeah,
unlikely
my
that it has
decision was made in
threes
my head.
because now we would have
So what
quads,
do you
right?
think his
It's not
bluffs
going
are?
to check raise to the
Yeah.
quads.
It's hard to find like supernatural bluffs here for him. I mean, I guess generally you want to be
Fours
looking
is the
for
same
things
sort of thing. Fours is
have
pretty
equity
low,
or blocks.
right? Raise to
like
30,
my calling
we don't
range.
worry about that. That's
Uh,
that could be anything. But the raise to 120, that's telling you that
Well,
you
for
have a
one,
good
he just
hand,
has like
right?
random weird
So-
shit that he could just turn into bluffs. Like he could just decide random pocket pairs have no showdown value, and that I don't have a 3 here very
Queens
often.
would be like it,
I don't know,
and
that
Bart's
seems
saying like
pretty-
he's going to check.
That
No.
seems pretty optimistic to me. This is why also it's so important. Like, you don't remember if there was a backdoor flush draw out here? Because there's a backdoor flush draw, you could possibly see some things that weren't really supposed
Just-
to call pre-flop, like turning some sort of backdoor equity.
I don't really remember the suits to be honest, but like given that there's 4 cards out,
8-6, yeah, that's a good fold.
pretty likely
So
to
now
flop
we're
with
gut
the-
shot. 7.
Backdoor flush draw now. Would you say that that's
Easy
like a
fold here, I
pretty
think.
important factor in this hand?
I mean, it's definitely a factor, for sure. I mean, the texture of the board on the flop, I mean, he shouldn't really have, like, 5-6 suited, cold
So we
calling.
should
He
have,
really shouldn't
let's see,
have,
what
like,
does our
ace
thing say?
deuce. I
We're in
mean,
for 3 turns.
one
Yeah,
thing maybe
that's
would be,
right.
like, ace-5 suited.
let's
that's
see if we
built
can find
for a
another
gut
one.
shot that might turn,
I don't like these hypers.
you know, a flush draw, but I mean, personally, if I was in your spot,
Let's
that
see
is
what
not a detail
tickets we have, because we
in-game
might have
that
to
I would
use
be
this ticket up
watching over.
fairly
I mean, I would
quickly.
be really,
I
really
have one ticket in my bag.
because I'd be like, what am I, you know, what are these bluffs? Just like I
Expires
asked the question,
tomorrow.
then obviously, if I decided to continue on, I would be very, very cognizant if that backdoor came in, because I would think if he was somewhat
8
of a standard
max.
player at
There we
5'10",
go.
that he
Should be
was
back at it.
structured
2.
correctly Where, you know, some of his bluffs, or most of his bluffs, might
I guess we'll play this one, right? There's
these
a
backdoor flushing types of hands. I don't
10-handed,
I can't
starts in 7
remember the
minutes,
last time
but I've
I've
gotta
ever
use the
been in
ticket
this
up.
exact spot where somebody
think I'll
has
have to
cold
play this
called
one.
me and then check raise me on the turn on a low board when like the lowest card paired. Well, like he shouldn't have any 3x here, right? You know what I'm saying? And he really shouldn't have 4-4. So I can't really remember off the top of my head.
I guess
what
that's
the
what I'm gonna
bluff was,
play.
you know. I'm not saying that I would just fold, but I would be very, very cognizant about every single detail in the hand. So you make the call, and now the pot's 2,300. Okay.
That's right.
Yep.
Oh, I guess just to reiterate what you said about the backdoor flush draw and bluffs, like from our discussion earlier, we basically said a small blind cold call range is going to be a lot of pocket pairs, and like the only non-pocket pair hand is ace king.
Right.
And so
or
even if,
ace queen
let's
suited
say
or
we bring in the
something.
backdoor flush draw and that he's bluffing.
Well, there we go. I'm the only one registered in it, but we'll see what happens. Maybe it'll give it back to me.
If he
Right,
doesn't
right,
have
the only-
no one
hands like
shows up.
ace 5, ace deuce, and 5-6, yeah, sure. Ace king or ace queen
Okay.
suited, yeah.
Ace 5, ace 2,
Okay,
ace 6.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just making sure that I'm understanding.
Yeah, no, for
Sure.
sure, for sure. I mean, once in a while, because you size so small, you might get like a jack 10 suited to call you or a queen jack suited if it's in there pre on a 9 high board as well.
Let's register into this one. What do I say? It's the Sunday party
Uh,
feeder.
Something like that.
Yeah, but I don't know if he calls jack 10 suited, yeah,
Right.
like a backdoor.
And
that's
10 get a ticket.
Right.
So this
But,
costs
I mean,
us
I
0 to
think where I'm
play.
going a little bit different from you is just like all these other hands and people.
So
saying
looking
they
for
might
this one.
overplay
Sunday
something
party
like that.
feeder.
I
It's
find
a
that really
$330
overplayed.
$330
Because those
ticket.
types of hands
Overplay
are
as in,
just
10 get a ticket
Check.
into
go
it.
for value.
check raise turn
Or,
with jacks.
Is
Or
that what
tens?
people are saying, or?
That's what some people were saying.
A list of
yeah.
one.
Oh,
One person
yeah, I
in
don't,
there.
I
Me.
don't
That's an
think he's gonna overvalue.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So 2,300 to the river.
All right, let's see what we got
Yeah,
over
the
here.
river is an ace.
I
Definitely
just
doesn't
let
bring the
out here.
flush
I mean, I
draw.
don't
Or
think
doesn't
that's
bring the flush. So we're just calling an offsuit ace.
Okay.
So it's 2,300.
Yeah.
He bets 800 into 2,300.
So small blind bets 800 and You know,
Full 4-star 88.
if
What?
he had some of
He's
these
got a
ace highs
flush here?
that, you know, if there was a backdoor flush draw and you had some of these ace highs that
Oh,
were
we can't
turning
call that right.
a hand, you know.
All right, well, let's get it out of the way.
Some sort of like combo semi bluff on the turn. This is
5's a
not
good
great
one.
card for you, right? Because if he is a capable
I
player,
don't believe that, by the way,
ace should
but
probably be
it's
good here. Like,
it's
for
good
example,
enough to
somehow,
get out of the
like,
way.
if I got here
It's reasonable that he
ace
has a
king
flush
suited or ace queen suited,
flush
I
draw and he
decided I
calls
called
and he
your
calls
bet
and
on
he
the
hits
flop.
it. He should
And
raise that, right?
then
Makes sense.
I
So
turned a flush
we'll believe
draw,
him.
not that I would necessarily
we're
check raise
repping
it
that we have
all that
a
often, 'cause I'm sort of
shitty
like
jack
on
or a
that
5.
pair. I think it would probably be more likely I might have like ace 5.
Is this an easy fold to get out of the way?
Free
Raise
here,
2
but
callers. We're
sometimes
not
you
good.
get into these
Not one.
situations where you might check a wheel draw, you know, because you're behind the ace king, where you turn a combo draw. Like
The
ace
frog
5
just
or ace
ripping it up
deuce.
there.
And if the guy calls you, your ace should probably be good here. Now, would I fold getting 3,100
What's
for 800?
this one here?
You're getting pretty good pot odds. It's such a bizarre line. and
So,
there's so, like,
small
combos
blind.
that beat you here, you
So
know,
we're on the
because
turn there, right?
9-9 and now obviously
Small
the
blind
ace-ace
check raises to
combos
900.
we talked about
Calls
cut
is
down.
18.
Yeah.
Are you good here 1 out of 5 times? I mean,
Yeah,
usually when I'm
2,300.
getting pot odds,
At
I
the
tend to
river,
call, but
small blind
this
bets
might actually be
$800.
one of
Well,
the
now you're
worst
calling.
cards for you in the deck.
Yeah.
Right, you're
I didn't
getting
think
4 to
too- I
1
didn't-
here.
Yeah, in game I didn't really think about, oh, he could be bluffing with ace 5 suited. Now he just beats me.
Oh, it's ace on the river.
Yeah,
That's
I
why.
was
What
thinking
were
more
you
about like.
thinking
Yeah, well, you're not putting
I
him
was
on the
thinking more
ace.
from an MDF
Right, that doesn't make any
perspective,
sense
like,
at
how
all.
far up my range am I?
All right, so we called the
like, I guess
raise
when I-
here.
When I
So we're
three
gonna
bet,
see how it goes.
when I
But we
three
also
bet
have pocket
squeeze
kings
pre-flop,
over
I don't
here.
really have
We actually have a
nines
flop a
all
gut
that
shot
often.
now.
Maybe I'll mix it in occasionally.
You are trying to defend via MDF and a spot here.
And now we
which
actually hit
rarely
this, so
ever
we might as
comes
well
up
just
against
bet-
an older
bet it.
Asian guy. You're
But this,
thinking
this guy's not Asian.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. So
The Asian
if-
guy was like a different guy. He's just like an older white guy.
Okay, again, you're trying to defend MDF in a spot that rarely ever comes up. Full call 3-bet, check raise on a turn brick.
Still the only one in that tournament.
I'm just playing devil's advocate. right?
But
You're
it starts in 3 minutes, so it's a little bit of time here.
Thinking more about
Um,
could he be value betting an ace?
Oh, this is a good one. We like to see this.
Oh, so it's your point that like MDF's not relevant because he's just never bluffing here?
MDF would not be one of the highest things in my mind right here. In this
Raise to 4, call to 4. We go to
to
27.
I beat
So we could have be losing the aces here.
and the combos and the
It's not likely, but it is
Okay.
possible.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm not going to be good enough to fold that.
I end up calling, and he has 9s.
Okay. So
Yeah.
small blind has 9-9. It's not a common spot. You know what I'm saying? Like I said,
Yeah,
what
see
I
that
would take away
shit?
from this is I
Yeah.
would bet larger
Or rebuy into it.
and
just-
um,
That's just the
I
way
would
it goes, right?
definitely maybe you just didn't remember it because you didn't think that it was
Eat that shit.
applicable
This
or, you
is
know,
what
to
it
the
is.
hand.
Bimsy,
I would
like that
definitely
guy.
be very, very cognizant of these.
Got a
back
bunch of
doors.
history with that guy.
That's what I would be thinking about. too.
There's not a bounty
And
here, so
he could be
it's no
bluffing
big
with
deal
here
on that.
the
But
turn. And how does the
we got
river,
over here,
you
31.
know, how does the river interact with some of those hands?
2 minutes left in the Sunday feeder.
So, William, thank you for the call. I appreciate it.
Correctly. Thank you.
All right, guys. Let's move on. here
small blind has
to
9-9.
Owen.
Yeah.
And Owen, I believe, has a non-hand call. Is that right, Owen? How's it going?
Yeah, that was the only hand that kind of made any
Yep,
sense
I
on there.
agree.
So now you're just
Awesome. Yeah, this is a
evaluating
non-hand
whether that's
question.
a
That was
raise
just,
full
it's
type
like
of
an
a hand.
etiquette rules question.
Okay.
So let's get right into it. This is a 3-5 game at Fortune Poker in Renton, which is just south of Seattle, Washington State.
Okay. There's no need for me to put up the graphics on this hand, right?
Not really. I can just go through the action real quick. if you
Okay.
want.
Okay.
But basically, it's a three-way
Scam Jam. Yeah, so they're Scam Jam making the
blind checks, and the middle position player is eating, which is probably going to
Scam Jam making the call over here on the right
Clock comes out.
with
339.
5-6. So that's a good sign, by the way.
A small bet, $20 bet. Both players call. The turn is a jack.
Uh,
Blind bet's 50. Both players.
we're just
call.
gonna
River's a
fold out
10.
here. I mean, this is a
Big
like
blind
an
bet's
ace king
150.
type hand.
Middle position calls. Button folds, and then at the same time, basically both players table their hands.
Okay.
And the big blind tables 3-6. So he's got trip threes, but his kicker doesn't play. And then as the middle position player is tabling his hand, He somehow, his hands are sticky or whatever. He flips one card over, showing a 5, and the other card falls off the table into his lap.
Okay, you know what? Let's start this over. And this is my fault. I am gonna put this up because it was kind of hard to follow. So, what's the size of the game?
Oh, this is a 3-5 game.
3-5. Where is it played out of?
Out of Fortune Poker in Renton, Washington.
Okay, so it's one of these like max bet games, right? Max
It's a
bet per
spread
street.
limit game.
Spread
So
limit.
300 max bet,
Okay,
4 bets per street.
4 bets per street. And you're not in the hand, or you are in the hand?
I'm at the table, but I folded. I'm just
Okay.
watching the hands.
Okay, and what is, and it gets limped around pre-flop, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so limped around pre-flop.
No, it's not.
And what's the flop?
Flop is the 3 of clubs,
Mhm.
3 of spades, and the 9 of diamonds.
3 of clubs, 3 of spades.
All right, so canceled.
What's the action
Shit.
on the flop?
So the big blind bets 20.
Okay.
Both limpers, the middle position, and the button both call.
Okay, so 2 limpers call.
We're listening to Bart Hansen in the background, Crush Live Poker.
Turn comes out the jack
3-5
of
in
hearts.
Washington, limp pre-flop,
The
3-3-9.
big blind bets 50.
Big play,
And then again,
That's 50.
both limpers call.
call,
So
5-5
both
on the
limpers
turn.
Call. It's typical. Like
Both
live
limpers
poker,
call.
it's like the pot's probably like
So the
even
point is, it's going to be like a hand issue here.
like that, right?
Yeah, it ends up, yeah.
Yep.
So it ends up being about 500 after the
It's
river.
not the
Okay,
dead
what's
hand
the
though.
river?
River is the 10 of diamonds.
Kind of diamonds?
The big blind bets 150.
Big blind, that's one.
Club, spade, diamond, heart, diamond.
Middle position calls, and the button folds.
Green position call, button folds. Okay. And
And so both players go to table their hands at the same time. They don't really wait for each other. And the big blind table is 3-6 offsuit.
which, by
And
the
he's
way,
got-
so he tables 3-6, but the kicker does not play, right? He's gonna
Kicker
chop.
does not play.
He's gonna
no.
chop with any other 3, right? Okay.
Exactly.
So far.
And then as the middle position player is flipping his cards over, he flips over the 5 of hearts, and then somehow the other card gets stuck to his finger or whatever, and it falls off the table into his lap.
Yeah, now that's a dead
Main
hand.
position tables a 5 of hearts, and then can people see the other card
No, the other card is in his lap,
in his lap? Okay.
right? And so he quickly reaches down, grabs it, and throws down
Yeah.
3 of hearts.
Okay, so he has 5.
Right, so they have the same hand.
Okay, so it should be a chop,
Um,
right?
And somehow the dealer didn't notice this, and he starts to chop up the pot.
Didn't notice what that the card was in his lap.
Yes.
So why would the card being in his lap have anything to what's happening here? Is there some rule that I'm not aware of at this card room?
Well, in this card room, yeah, if your cards go off the table, your hand is dead.
And that
I don't know. This
does
is
that
the rule
include,
everywhere.
does that include on your lap? I've heard that in some places if the card gets onto the ground, it's dead. But here, I guess they interpret it as if it goes into his lap, it's dead.
So I didn't know for sure. I've seen once before some guy was sitting in like the corner, like the 7 seat, and he tried to throw his cards into the middle, and they hit the shuffler, right, and just sort of like bounced awkwardly onto the floor. And they said his hand was dead. And in this room, if a card goes on the floor and the dealer doesn't pick it up, they have to bring a new setup. I'm not sure if that's the case everywhere.
Okay.
But so the dealer's chopping it up the hand, and
But I'm saying that if the card goes into your lap though, here it's dead as well.
yes,
That's the rule. Okay.
yes.
Okay.
And so this is really where the question comes up of, as the dealer didn't notice this, he's starting to chop up the pot, and I sort of say to him, I was like, hey, is that okay? And before the dealer can really say anything, or even I like tell him what happened, the player then says, oh no, it just fell in my lap.
Okay.
It's not a problem. It's fine.
Okay.
And so the floor man is actually standing right there this whole time. They're also the chip runners in this room, so someone else is buying chips.
Okay.
And the dealer goes to the floor, tells him what happens. The guy explains. He admits. He's like, yes, it did go off the table, but it just went into my lap. It didn't go onto the floor.
Right.
And the floor says the hand's dead.
Okay.
And the pot goes to the big blind.
Let me guess what happens next. The guy gets mad at you for saying, "Why did you say that the hand went? Why did you say that the card went into my lap? You were in the hand."
Basically, but before that, the guy says to the floor, the middle position player says to the floor, "Can we split the pot?"
Okay.
And the floor says, "You guys, it's your money. You can do whatever you want." And then the big blind refuses. He says, no, you made a mistake. This is my pot. I'm keeping it.
So did the guy in mid position get mad at you?
He did.
Yeah, yeah. This is a really interesting one because, you know, I have very, very strong feelings about people tabling their hand, right? And, you know, I think the general public has sort of come around to my view, although there are some people that still think that, like, you know, that if you're not in the hand, you shouldn't say anything, where I say, and it's clearly actually written in several types of original sort of poker rule books, that if somebody tables their hand and the pot is sort of shipped to the wrong person, it's your duty to speak up. It's your duty. But on the other hand, if someone's just like holding their hand up and they don't say anything and you tell them that they have the winning hand, that's in really bad form, really bad etiquette. Comes up sometimes in Hold'em. I see it a lot more in Omaha High-Low because people can't read their hand and somebody's trying to find the low. But this is a situation where we're not dealing with tabled hands. We're dealing with like a rule where if the card goes off the table, the hand's dead. But because it was so quick and it went in the guy's lap, nobody noticed it. But you spoke up and said, hey, the card went into his lap.
Right.
Is it
So
your,
I sort
is
of
it
have
your
the same
duty to
thought.
do, the question is it your duty to do that?
Right. And so that was sort of, I had the same sort of thought as you did, right? Where my
Yeah.
sort of ideal of one to speak up is if the dealer makes a mistake, right? Like, I think the player should speak up, right? Exactly. Like if the dealer reads two
Right.
hands wrong and starts pushing the pot the wrong way, right? I think everyone at the table has a duty to speak up and say something.
Mhm.
As opposed to if a player makes a mistake and even mucks a winning hand, you shouldn't do anything about that. So in the moment, I sort of interpreted this as like, okay, well, this is a mistake that the dealer made, not a mistake that a player made,
Yeah.
and therefore I should say something.
I don't know what the answer is. I'm sure that we're going to get some YouTube commenters in here, and I would say that, let's say that like only 20% of people disagree with me when I say it's your duty to speak up when the pot's being pushed, right, to the wrong player, when all the hands are tabled. I'm going to guess that the YouTube comments are probably going to be the other way on this one, that 80% of the people are going to say that you shouldn't have said anything. I understand. I mean, you laid out your logic, sound logic, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you were to ask me what I would have done, first of all, I don't play in a room. I don't think that there's any, not that I know of. So whatever room that I would be playing in, I wouldn't know what the rule is, so I wouldn't say anything. You know, going back to my days at Commerce, I don't know if a card went in someone's lap, if it was dead. I don't know if I've ever seen that before, to be honest with you. I remember this stupid thing, like in, there's a World Series rule that they had to change, I think, during the middle of the series, where if a card went off the table, like they were giving a 1-round penalty, and like in a 10K heads up, like, you know, people would go to muck their hand, and it was sometimes, I think in one of the championship matches, like somebody mucked their hand and they would have been mucked out of the tournament or something like that. Or it was happening quite often where if a card went off the table, it was like some time penalty or something like that. It wasn't a round because that would have been heads up, would have been only 2 hands, but it was like some ridiculous time penalty. I don't, first of all, personally, I'm not a huge fan of that rule. The whole, like, if the card goes off the table, it's dead. Like, I think that there's some nuance here where you could say possibly, like, if somebody mucked their hand off the table, it's absolutely dead. But when the card sort of gets to showdown, like when all the action's complete at the end, and somehow when somebody, you know, goes to show down their hand, this might happen like 1 out of like 10,000 times. Like you flip your hand over and like one of the cards like goes on edge and rolls off the table. Personally, I don't understand why that would be auto dead if they could identify what the card was. I think it's one of these situations where, and I don't know if that was the rule at Commerce, because like it's one of these situations where if you told the floor guy what you had, right, and that was the card on the floor, right, and then the floor guy could look at the rest of the deck. You know, it's like one of these things that could be easily resolved. Let's say that I had the winner and one of my cards went off the table and I knew what the other card was, and I told the floor, that's my card. Floor goes to the table, he looks at the card, that's the card. Then he takes the very, very strongly that you should speak up when someone.
Oh, what happened here? Shit, that was sucky. Sorry, I got moved and
or excuse me, when someone's cards are tabled.
busy
then
listening
that you're
to this
pushing
hand that
someone in the wrong
Bart
pot,
was
right? That's a dealer mistake. And you're
chatting
saying that
about.
This is also a dealer mistake because the dealer didn't see the fact that the card went off the table, right? Am I summarizing your point of view?
Right?
Yeah, I think so, and
Yeah.
I think you did describe. I agree. I think it's a dumb rule. I think in theory somebody could have a card in their lap that they would use to cheat, but like you said, they could just count off the whole deck and figure out if they did that or not. But yeah, that's sort of the idea of was I don't know if in the wrong was the right term, or was it my duty to speak up, or
I mean, listen, I'm pretty laid back at the table. Like, if that happened to me and you spoke up, I wouldn't personally get mad at you for saying that about my hand, but there's a lot of people that would get mad. And then other people in the callers are saying that, like, if the guy in the blind had any class, he would have just chopped the pot up.
Right, and that's what I said to this guy too. I was like, "Hey man, I'm sorry that I said something and that it cost you the pot, but if it was me, I would have chopped it with you, no problem."
John McGuire in the live chat says this is one case that you let a minor infraction slide. Don't be that guy, quote unquote. Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting. Justin Case has agreed the dealer makes an error. All players have an obligation to speak up. Yeah, that's one that I haven't necessarily thought of. I think they probably should have chopped the pot, but the guy in the blind has every right to take the pot, just like
right by the rules of that.
Just by the rules, but sometimes we do things to make the game straight and make the game friendly. But the interesting one. Thank you.
I got sort of basically 50-50 reactions from other people I talked to around the room. People are saying, you weren't in the wrong, but I might not have done it, and then some people saying like, oh yeah, you have to say something. So
yeah, interesting. Thanks
hopefully,
for the call.
it doesn't come up again.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Owen. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Mark.
All right, let's move along here, and we are gonna go to. Is Jeff? Is this you, Jeff, on the line?
It's Jay. Jay, yes. Good to meet you, Bart.
Jay, this is the one from Encore. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. For some reason, I had you in my notes as Jeff, but yeah, how's it going?
Oh, going well.
All right, we're on to the next hand here.
Listening to your show.
So it's just about a chop pot that they're having there.
Played out of,
the card comes off the table. Right?
Yep, Encore
So I worked as a
It's,
house person for decades.
funny,
a little bit about me.
Well, for more than a decade.
Before you get into this, I know that it was important.
And
that you did not
so
wanna
I'm well
say
versed in the
name
rules and
for
why and whatnot.
And we'll respect
This
your
is
wishes,
for sure.
but
This is an easy
I asked a few people.
fold to, or like
when you
it's
gave me the name
your
of
hand
the
came
book,
off.
and
I'm
they
sorry,
didn't know who it was.
that's the way it is.
So, I don't
It's
know
not like someone
how
grabbed
well
your
known
cards
these
and
guys are.
threw
Maybe the
them.
people that I
You
asked
have the
are
onus. The
regular.
responsibility is on the player. His
go into
card
your background.
came off because it stuck to his hand.
Yeah, I'm a
Sorry?
5'10" reg.
Did anyone else touch your cards? No. So it was all on you that did
The
this.
opponent
Yeah.
in the hand.
So you
might
can't-
know this is my first time playing
like,
1025.
it's-
You might not.
Where's the responsibility
I don't know
on?
how much that really factors in
You gotta
everything.
put it on that guy.
Um,
So that's just the way it is.
But
Your hand is
basically,
dead. Again, the button has, or the button,
game, 7 players,
big blind has every right to
2 players that are fairly
say that
deep,
the pot's mine.
who are kind of why the
It's
game is
true.
running.
I think that's the
Everyone
douchey
else
part of
is
it,
regs.
but
Can I just
the
ask
main
you a
not
quick
involved in it.
before you get into, I
And
want to
the-
ask you a quick
now
question.
the table's getting mad. This guy, like, you're not involved in the hand.
I
Why
know
are you
that you're a
saying?
COP website
Because
subscriber,
there's
but
a
I know all the
there's an onus, there's a
website
responsibility.
subscribers
He
and
has to
anybody
say something.
who is a New England native can pipe in the comments here, but I was very, very disappointed in the fact
Let's see what this is here, because this is an interesting hand. Calls like to see the
their
flops for the
5-10
side of the stack, keeps
half
betting.
limit, half
Yeah,
PLO game
so
has sort
I'm just
of
gonna fold here.
moved towards all PLO now. Not that I don't like PLO, and if I was playing full time,
All right, so we're on this other hand here. Let's take a
But,
look.
I obviously own a no limit cash game training site, and I have to play no limit, to get content and to obviously stay relevant in the industry. So when Chasers made that switch, which was maybe like 4 weeks ago, I found myself now having to go to Encore, and the day that I was playing at the most was Tuesday, and I like to go and play during the day. And from what I saw, like the 2-5 game opens at like 10 a.m. The last time I was there, it didn't
So
even open at 5:10.
folding here because this
And I hadn't seen
he had
10:25
a
go
queen
in a long
jack
time.
or
Was
something
this
like
on a
that, and he just
weekend
checked
night
it down,
or something?
check.
This
When
was a
it
couple
came
months
around, the
ago,
fact that
actually.
there was a
10.25 really hasn't
jack
been
on
running
here,
for a while,
he didn't
but
miss
the
a beat.
hand
He
has
kept
been
going.
in my
That's why we
mind for
get
a
out of the
while,
way.
shall we say.
Okay, so I'm not missing anything. It's just 5-10.
A bit chilly. I'm gonna put my sweater on.
Yeah, although these days it's more often straddled than not straddled, so it's kind of
the
5,
vote
10,
here.
20 with a 2K.
5, 10, 20, the 2K buy-in. Okay,
I've
that's
got another hand
and that's usually the game
going on there in Bart
Okay.
Hansen.
So 10 and a quarter
I'm just having
seven-handed, right?
chocolate covered almonds.
Yep.
Yum yum.
Okay. Yeah.
So I start.
Let's see what the other guy's doing over here.
200. I'm under the gun, and I look down at the
Uh-oh.
pocket aces, the ace of spades, and the ace of hearts.
Not sure this
I
person.
open-
Okay.
Spinsy?
Yep.
Never heard of
I
her?
open to 65.
I think this
from
is
under the gun.
To
The
65.
hijack.
Okay. Is that the standard open size?
In this
Sent
game,
over?
there's one player who's been opening to 50. There's one player, a bunch of people are opening to 75. Some people are in the middle.
Oh
I
my
tend to
God.
like the 2.5x size,
Min raise,
especially
huh?
from early position.
The Euro min raise. I'm surprised they allow you to go to 65. Usually it's like in increments of the big blind. But okay, so you go to 65.
I go to 65. The
Mhm.
hijack, who has 12K stack, kind of recreational player,
Mhm.
he flats.
Okay.
The button, who is a regular on the tighter side, who starts the hand with about I think 5,000.
this?
He calls as well, and then the main villain in the big blind defends his big
Scram Jam? You
So
fish?
big,
Four-way.
big blind calls. Big blind has you covered. as
We have
well?
Queen 10 offsuit, so it's
Big
still
blind has
not
8K
good enough
start
to
the hand.
defend here.
Okay,
but
so one.
We're
two,
recognizing that
three,
Scram
four
Jam's
ways.
doing lots of bet,
And you
bet
have
here.
aces. Not a big
Um,
raise size like you said.
so
About
let's
2.5.
Give a little bit of respect here.
2.5x,
Get out of the way,
whatever,
but
270 or something like that. with
we're
the-
on to shenanigans,
Okay, go to the flop.
is my point.
Yep, so it should be about 270 in there.
Yep.
And the flop is the jack of hearts, the deuce of clubs, and the 4 of diamonds.
Jack of hearts, 4 of diamonds, deuce of clubs, right?
Yep.
Jack of hearts, 4 of diamonds, deuce of
All right,
clubs.
what's
so
this
pretty
over here?
Pretty disconnected.
Oh wait, it's me.
Pretty disconnected.
Let's just
pretty
run a
good flop
real
raise,
quick
I'd
ad
say.
here. I'll be
Yeah,
right
it's pretty
back.
good flop raises, yeah.
We're gonna run out of time before the
So the
break,
big
so we're
blind
gonna run one
checks.
right now.
I bet about
Let's see if we
third
can run
pot,
another
I
one
go
here in a
100.
couple minutes.
And
All
I
right,
get a
so we're
call
playing
from
10, 25,
hijack,
no limit,
the
seven
button
handed,
folds,
5,300.
and the big blind calls.
Pre is
So great way to
under the
defend.
gun. He's got aces.
So,
raises to 65.
We
It's
get
It's a little bit small,
Jack
but
hero
that's okay.
100, hijack, who's next to act, calls. right?
Hijack 12,000
Button
calls,
folds,
button
and the big blind
calls, big
over
blind
calls.
calls. There's
So
270
it's like
bots.
570.
Jack 4 deuce.
and
And
you know, you gotta obviously be a little cognizant of
Hijack
the
leads here?
hijack 'cause
And
he's
what-
next to act. I mean, there's really not a draw out there. I mean, a draw. I mean, I guess could be like a 5-6 suited for like a gut shot or something. You're blocking some of the wheel draws. So, I mean, that hijack should really. He's really forced. We talk about like multi-way defend theory here. When the hijack has the button
Interesting.
behind him, and also the big blind obviously behind him, right? Big blind sort of naturally checking to you, and you are the pre-flop raiser, right? And you're c-betting 100. Like, he's not even supposed to continue on here with any type of like hand for value with less than a jack, I would say. Like, if I flatted with 8s or 9s here, this should not be a call with 2 people behind. I just want to point that out, that next to act call. Do you agree with that?
I agree in theory. I think this guy, he was playing like 90%.
ad break going on here.
I think he's
as I
going to
said.
be way over peeling in this spot.
You think he's going to be way over-peeling? So that might come
Okay.
into play here? Possibly.
Yeah, and the big blind is going to be cognizant of the fact that the hijack is over peeling in this spot.
Yeah.
So it might slightly affect his overcall range.
Well, I mean, if I'm saying that the hijack should always have a jack here, the big blind should definitely always have a jack here from overcalling or a draw, right?
All
I mean,
right.
I guess once in a while you can get frisky with like a hand, like
What's
a
over here?
5-4 suited with like a
2 tables.
backdoor where you're like, well,
I'm just going to see
you know,
if
maybe
I have
sometimes, like,
another.
my kicker isn't going to be relevant with
Ticket.
reverse implied
Do I have
odds,
another
and get a
ticket?
backdoor straight draw, and you'll see that, you know, sometimes too. But like overcalling here with like, you know, pocket 7.
Because my ticket, I think, got
nine,
pushed back to me because there
or
wasn't
even,
enough
like,
people
ace
to
deuce
play in the tournament.
on Jack 4 deuce. And you take, you know, somewhat of a small sizing sort of multi-way theory. So
14
570
hours
here
is
at
the next
turn
one.
with you. Okay.
So
This
the
one.
turn comes and it's the 10 of clubs, which presents a backdoor flush draw.
Okay. And it is the deuce of clubs that is the club on the
Oh,
flop.
this starts in.
So it's
Correct.
obviously Jack X of clubs is possible.
Oh, starts in 9 minutes. There's
Okay.
So checks to me again.
12 minutes.
And I opt to size up a little bit. I go kind of around 2/3. I
You
go
know what? Fuck it.
400
Let's
into
just get it in here.
570.
Okay, so you
Caramel.
go
Let's
two-
play
so
this
you go
one.
2/3 here into 2 people. You don't have the ace of clubs, right, in your hand, and Jack X of clubs is possible.
Or
Okay.
can we do it tomorrow? Yeah, let's do that one
Hijack
tomorrow.
now
That's a better one.
folds.
It's
And
the
now's where the
8th
hand
level.
gets
I just don't want to play that one.
The
with-
big blind now
So
check
little time
raises
left.
to 1200.
So big blind check raises here to 1200. And, you know, what does the 10 obviously change? Really, it only really changes what I think would make
All right,
sense
so we
if
need
you
to
go jack
scram
ten,
here.
right? If you overcall the flop.
Scram jam to come
Now,
along. That's too
obviously
bad.
You could be slow playing things like a set of fours, a set of deuces, something like that. Should he be overcalling here with some sort of like Broadway like hand?
You know what? I'm going to grab some water while we're waiting here.
That would
We're right
have to be
back.
not do
It's not
that
going to be too
free,
long.
like queen of clubs, you know, something like that. I'm just looking at the possibilities of some hands that might turn clubs. He probably shouldn't, but is he wide enough?
Get a drink of water. I'm not going to fold. Let's see what we got. Pocket jack. So I got 6 outs.
Ace three.
Oh, and a hit right away.
Something like
Here's the board.
ace four.
Here's the board.
You know, something like that, which is what you brought up, that maybe he overcalled a little.
All right, so we get a full double up there with the ace queen.
on
That's a good one.
wider
Like that
side.
one.
These are just hands that you are beating currently right now, right? Because you're losing to jack 10, and you're losing to 4-4 and deuce, right?
Yep, and maybe.
Where did we go
Slivers
with
of
it?
10
Did we
now.
get up to
Jack
20?
four
Yeah, we're in
suited,
20th
jack
place
four
now.
or jack
Wow.
deuce suited,
On the
but
front
I think
table,
those
or on the
are rare.
front page. That's good.
You know, slow played like jacks up that waits for the turn to raise.
Well, we just saw the
I
guy
think
do
it's
this before.
unlikely, though. I think the main hands I'm losing against are exactly what you said.
Yeah. Yeah, Devin Totoro says he may have more random clubs, especially completing out of the big blind. Right, but those would have to be like at least containing some sort of straight draw. Whether it's some sort of 4x of clubs, right? That decides to overcall
Fold
the
around
flop.
to the big blind, then you
You
get
know, a
check
gut
raised.
shot like 6-3, 5-3 as a straight draw, you know, something like that. Now you go 4 into 570, he raises to 12. So the pot is 970 plus 12 is 2170, and it's 800 for you to call, right?
Yeah, I think folding the turn is a bit too much.
Yeah, I tend to think
And-
that too. I mean, I'd have a hard time folding here, especially when you don't have the ace of clubs in your hand.
Correct.
Because in this particular situation, probably having the ace of clubs would be slightly worse because it makes it so that the opponent cannot
Someone's all in here.
raising with some sort of like turned, you know, flush draw that contains the ace of clubs, ace 4 of clubs,
Yeah.
ace 3 of clubs, you know, something like that, right?
And then I also beat stuff like, you know,
Oh, what do we
maybe
got
an
here?
ace-5 of clubs that decided not to squeeze, or a 6-5 of clubs
Right.
that decided not to squeeze.
Right. Some sort of combo draw
Ooh,
that contains clubs.
tilted off there.
So obviously, if you call here, you know, where you want to fold is if a club comes, right?
So I have ace queen, offsuit
Clubs being
raised
pretty good.
under the gun +1.
Um,
2
and
cold
then
callers here.
possibly, if some sort
If
of
queen
like
comes, I mean,
real
I'll have to see bet.
card
If an
came
ace
in,
comes, I'll
it
see
could
bet. I mean, it doesn't really matter, right?
a bit odd. Like if a 3
Got 6
came
outs
in
here.
that filled ace 5
These
or
guys may
5,
not
6,
may have some of this
and
as
you
well,
didn't
but
think that
I
he
wouldn't
would
expect
just
either one of these
go
guys to
for,
have
like,
aces,
3-6 or
kings,
5-3,
queens.
turning his 3 into a bluff. And the fact that a 3 comes means that there's less of a chance that he has 5-3 or 3-6. I'm talking about an offsuit 3 at the end. You might fold on that
This
as
is good
well.
for me because it makes sense
And
that I
then
would
you
have
could
ace
say,
king
like,
here and I would raise
You know,
this.
once in a while, but it's
Now
it's a
he's
huge
debating
exploit
what
against the right
to
players.
do
You play
here.
like that Crush That Poker
Some sort of
Fits
flush draw.
chicken, where it's like, well, could I ever call here and fold on a blank if somebody puts in all the money and they're just never doing it on a bluff? That's a large live exploit. You know, you're playing in the biggest game in the room. So that would be a large exploit. But anyways, hero calls, and now we are at 970, 2170.
He's got a deuce in here?
2970? That's right.
Yep, 2970.
Okay. Yep.
And guess what? The river is that wheel completer. That's not a club. It's the 3 of hearts, I think.
Wow.
An offsuit 3.
Now, I don't know the answer to this question, Jay.
Okay, so I just got moved. So
Maybe
let's
you put this
do this
in the
one.
email, but I swear to God I didn't know the offsuit 3 was coming. Did you put it in the email? I don't know.
I did.
You did? Oh, okay. I swear to God I didn't know it was coming. Sometimes people think that like I know the results or I know the hands. I try to keep it as vague as possible. I just thought that that was one of the most interesting cards that could possibly come here because of the fact that we just talked about, well, club, we can fold, but here, this one's interesting. All right, so 3 of hearts here at the end. Yep.
So there is stuff that wasn't beating me on the turn that is now beating me, right? It's
Right.
rare stuff, right? It's
Right.
6-5 of clubs. It's ace-5 of clubs. And again, both of those hands are hands that can be squeezed multi-way at some frequency, from
Sure.
my understanding.
Sure.
And I think he would find those squeezes at some frequency. But again, those are singular combos. We're talking two combos that are discounted by the fact that he didn't squeeze.
Too funny.
And he does ship it in. Ships it in for.
All right, I got moved
So
again.
over
Let's go find this one now.
1.3x, right? I have 4100 left.
This is a 55 or the 7
What's
max,
the deal with this
7
guy?
max.
4100.
We got a lot of history with this guy right here.
This guy is,
I have a
you know,
strong reg on
very,
this guy.
very solid fundamentally, but capable of massive exploits if he deems
1500.
I think he's,
no,
you know,
1,000
one of the
tournaments
few
up
people that
150.
capable of,
That's not bad.
of
It's pretty good.
massive bluffs
We're going into the
conventional
break, so
spots.
let's try and get another
and I
commercial
have
here.
no
As soon
idea
as
what he
this,
thinks.
as soon as we-
I don't.
All right,
like,
I'm in on the break
I
hand.
mean, my
I'll be right
my
back.
gut
We are going to
reaction
run a
here is to
commercial
fold.
on this.
And
Just give me
I'm
one
going to
sec.
give you a non-math answer too.
Let's get a
just
commercial
from
break
the
in.
perspective of
when
when you
Add in
call
progress
his
in
check
47
raise on the
seconds.
turn,
I guess I can do it.
uh,
All right,
it's
break,
pretty
right back.
clear
All right, back at it. We got just a couple seconds here coming up. We want to give a huge shout out and a huge welcome to
All right,
Mr.
Jake,
Daly.
Appreciate the call. Thank you very much.
Mr. Daly
Thank you very much.
57.
All right. Let's move along here to a last caller.
He
and this
started
is
following a
from
couple
Matt.
days ago, and I do
Matt,
apologize. I must have been just going offline
Matt, are you there?
on that stream. I
Yeah, hi,
recall
Bart. How are
you
you?
coming
Pretty
in,
good, man. Gotta
but
hear
I'd
it.
already hit the button
Yeah, I do.
to
So it's
end the
5.
stream, and it comes in, but it's a 3-minute
At the
time
Encore
delay, so
in
I
Vegas. We just talked about
didn't give
Boston.
didn't give you the love that you were deserving of. So there you go, brother, right there.
Encore in
Go
Vegas.
check out
By the
Mr.
way,
Daly.
Was the poker
He's a
room
fellow
always
poker
in
streamer.
Encore, or was it in Lorraine at one
I
time?
believe he plays on
It must have been
MGM
I mean,
Brand,
Encore came
which is
after,
like
right?
Michigan
Well, I
and
guess
New
Winning Encore had
Jersey.
been around for a long time. I was just
Some sort of gathering.
when I
Those
went
two
there,
states play, but they
I'm
use the
kinda
party
just thinking in my
poker
head, like, they revamped the poker room, and is it possible
overlay,
they
the one that
moved it
we're on,
from the win over
that we're
the
playing
Encore,
here. So
I don't know.
go check them out.
They put a 5K cap on it, so this used to be
And again,
traditional, like,
welcome
an
in,
uncapped
welcome
game,
in.
but they put a
We're just
5K
running an
cap
ad
on
right
it,
now.
so
We
it's
got
20.
I'm not
couple
sure.
hands in
About
here.
100,000.
Okay.
Not sure.
You don't know what the cap was? Okay.
There we go. Let's get in this one.
Wasn't worried about
We'll put some money on here.
Okay.
It's
All right, so you're
So the question
sort of
is
on the
why
shorter
why
side,
bet here?
I'm sure.
What are you losing to?
I think
Yeah,
it's
so-
Really tough to
minimum
flop a
is
flush, right?
13.
It's like less than 1%,
starting to hammer
0.81%, I think,
1360,
to
but I mean,
flop
you're
a
probably
flush.
one of the smaller-
It's possible he has a
Yeah.
flush here, but
Yeah,
it's
okay, so
really difficult.
1360 effect.
It's much more likely that they're on a
Yeah,
flush
so
draw.
I'm under the gun, and I raced a 30 with 2 jacks with the jack of clubs.
Yeah, there's
And
the
then
flush
the
draw,
cutoff is
right?
only call.
So
So
that's kind of
Jack
rough on
clubs,
both
Jack
of these.
diamonds, I'm gonna put down,
that was just
cutoff
silly. I don't know what
balls,
the hell I was thinking there. That's so stupid.
And you're gonna
But we
bet
like
on-
this. We like that
Yep.
he has aces and he's limping on that.
I think this is a time game, so it's probably
Yeah,
set
so it's
Anyway,
7.
let's continue on. What do we have over here?
30 plus
Gabrielle Keller.
Yeah, you're
Let's
right.
let's
75.
see what that
so
is.
you go to 30 with Jack clubs, Jack of diamonds, cutoff calls.
What do we have
Just
over
out of
here
curiosity,
still?
like what time of day was like this game? Was it just a
This
normal
was
game?
Sunday night,
Sunday night, like recently?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. on
510
Sunday night,
encore in
so
Vegas,
that's not
1360
necessarily
under the gun,
like
30. He's
prime
got
time
pocket
poker,
jacks.
but maybe it's a little bit less.
Assuming he goes
Yeah, and it was Labor
raises
Day
this up, right?
so-
Oh, Labor. Oh, well, that is that. That's like a. That's
Oh,
like a
he
Saturday
goes to
night.
30
Sunday
and he
night on
calls. So
Labor
there's
Day?
two
So, I don't know if
callers.
this guy's
So it's heads up.
recreational or not,
Under the
but
gun
he
versus
No, he
the,
seemed like a
the
regular.
cutoff.
Okay.
75.
Should be.
So
Should be
ace, king, queen.
as
That's
good
it.
as the kind of
So
combo you're playing.
that's what you're voting.
As time on a Sunday night. Okay, so 75 is the flop.
Yeah, so the flop is
All
jack.
right, so we're gonna. Where's my thing
And
over
nine
here?
of
What do we
clubs.
got? We got 4
Alright, so
left
I'm
for
gonna
the day.
put
Let's
jack
go
of
check
hearts,
this out.
10 of clubs, 9 of clubs. So you flop top set here. Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
So I check. I think I check just about everything here. Cutoff bets 50 into 70. 75.
Yep. So you think you would check just about everything here?
Oops.
I don't know if that's necessarily correct.
Hit
Now,
the-
obviously, this board is definitely better for the field caller.
Is this
than
one?
the pre-flop
Why did that
range
not
with
go
people
through?
under the gun.
Just give me one
Which
second. I'm just trying to
necessarily
find
always feels like 100
why it's
board,
doing
like,
this.
heads up. I mean, I could see it kind of multi-way, but like, you're still gonna have like king queens. I don't know if you're opening king queen off.
It's entirely possible this player has opted out
As
of
I say in live poker, in a drop game, you should
GAB
open king queen off because it's almost going to be
or-
handed. I would imagine that that would mean that this board wouldn't be checked 100 if you open.
Yeah, I think this guy just
because
has
you
opted
have
out.
some chunk of nut hands, right?
Yeah.
And then
All right,
also,
well that's
you
fine.
do have some draws
Nothing
like
wrong with opting out.
combo club draws, straight draw, backdoor heart draw types of things. Ace queen, which is like open-ended, backdoor heart draw. So
Well, so now we got some work to
this
do
one's
because
not
we're.
quite the same, like I would say, as like
What's this
7.
one? 7.
I feel like, because you wouldn't be opening Jack 10, so I'm not 100% sure on that one.
The flops top set. Why would? Yeah,
Should be
yeah.
always
That's
checked.
not a very good play.
Off the cuff, I don't 100% agree.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So cutoff bet's 50, okay?
Yeah, and I call.
So hero calls. Now, did you ever consider check raising here?
I did not.
So,
Too funny.
I mean, if you're gonna check, obviously, like you're in situations where it's gonna be check 100. That doesn't mean that you always have to call 100. Well, I mean, if you were to continue, there should be some check raises. I'm not saying that Jack.
Let's come over to the two tables here.
Because you block like.
So this one here, it goes until the end of the 12th level, right? And we're in the 12th level right now with 2 minutes left to go. 26 out of 99 here.
Thinking out loud, but okay, so you make the call.
And 31 make the money. So we got a long ways to go on this one still. I would expect there to be at least another 20 people coming in here in the next minute.
You are even with top set.
What do we have at the other table? Goes until the 12th level, and we're only in the 7th level right now, so we got lots of time on this one.
Like jacks versus tens, because
so we'll just keep trudging along. I've got some history with this guy.
40% equity against you, but the
too funny.
Get, the less you have to,
So we'll just keep playing along here.
Again, I'm just throwing things out.
Because
right,
what else can you do really?
Okay.
Yeah, so the turn is the ace of clubs.
That's not a great card for you.
No, I check, and the cutoff bet's 360.
So cutoff bet's 360.
Because he's betting the draw.
50 and you raise to 30. Obviously, you've got 1270 left in your
ace
stack,
queen
moving to the turn. So this is how I would just cut 360. Wow, so this is like almost like a 2x pot size bet. The reason why I'm just sort of doing the math out is I'm wondering if you have room to call, right? If you call, you would put in you guys would put in 720. The pot would be 900.
We're just listening to Crush Live call in. Bart Hansen in the background. And this is what he does every Monday at 2 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. You'd have to check your own.
This one's pretty interesting. You've got the jack of clubs in
your own time zone to see when that works for you, but that's what he's doing right now.
King, queen,
he just the format of his program is he just goes through a bunch of different
and to be
bunch of different calls. Goes through a bunch of different calls and goes through the analysis of the hands. So he usually does it for about an hour, so he gets like 4 or 5 hands in depending. Sometimes they're interesting, sometimes they're not, sometimes they're right. The last one, one of the last hands what he was talking about was actually a technical issue, where it kind of gets down to the end of it.
With him betting so big, it had
on the river, and they're tabling their hands.
Think about it more.
And the one guy
not that many flushes that I could have, especially as a Broadway club.
Showing his hand, he's excited to see it, but his hand catches, like his hand's sweaty, and it catches, sticks to one of the cards. He pulls his hand away, and the card lands in his lap.
Even not having a Broadway
and
club
so
in his hand,
there's some back and forth, and this is like absolutely this is incorrect.
I mean, I suppose you could say if you
the dealer doesn't see it, so it's you can call it a dealer error, but that's not really.
Checking them all, but I mean, king, queen of clubs, right? King, jack of clubs, and queen, jack.
For the dealer to be watching all this stuff, but there's so much to watch. But because the card flies off the table, that's a pretty standard rule in casinos.
Especially
if the card leaves, so it's obviously we're gonna war. If the card leaves the table, it's a dead hand.
Spot like this, you don't have to worry about any of
there's a couple other recourses you can do there, but you're under the casino is under no obligation to force
you still have a boatload of equity as long as
i.e.
you have a higher club than you.
Split the pot between those two guys, because you can see that they both have the same hand, right? Something like that. Turns out the guy that was winning, one of the guys that had it, he chose not to share the pot and says, no, this card went off the table, I'm going to keep the pot.
I don't like piling.
And the casino says, okay, because he's the only one with a live hand. And now the table's blowing up and getting mad at the hero here because the hero sees it and says, sorry, his card fell off the table. It's in his lap. Is he allowed to do that? Is it still?
Sort of hands with equity
it's not a live hand.
On turn in position.
That's the correct play.
Just give up on
and I mean, I don't give a shit if people get mad at me.
And you still have
for 10 years I worked as a houseman.
Kind of awkward because he's going
more than 10 years I worked as a houseman.
But you follow me, right? Like if you call here,
that's the right play. That's the right
be
option.
900.
And if people get mad at you, then so be it. But that's still the right thing.
50. So you're gonna have what, like right around 800 left?
890 left.
And Bart kind of had a good session there. He says if it's a player error,
you did call. Okay.
you shouldn't
Yeah,
speak
I
up.
thought with the jack of
But if
clubs,
it's a dealer error,
it's too good
you
to
should
fold.
speak up,
What if you
right?
didn't
And this
have the
this
jack?
is why I say error, right? Because it's not really an
I think
error,
it'd be
but
tougher. I'd probably still call.
Yeah. Okay. And now, what's the river?
The river's a brick. It was something like 4 or 5
yeah.
apart.
See, now we got a call here, right? And I don't want to call there, so we'll just get out of the way.
Okay.
That's fine. We'll just wait for another
You
hand.
I
I assume.
check,
Yep.
and
Let's see what happens here. What do you think?
900
Let's
effective
see
into
who's
pot of
still
895.
on. Batwoman, Flawless, Diamond.
Cut off jams.
This is to fold here.
Well. Can we find some bluffs here? So flush draws make it, right? If he's betting a flush draw, though you have the jack of clubs. We talked about the fact that
King,
he
Queen.
should still be able to comfortably pile straight.
Flops the King, Queen. Yeah, you only have
Now,
a
Rashad
set.
says you're
It doesn't
only
pair the
calling for
board,
to
so
pair, so when he jams
it's gonna be
through, you gotta
tough.
Call again if you break your boat. I wonder about this one. Like, you're not just necessarily making an equity call. This is a situation where sometimes it can go check, sometimes he can give up, and you have the best hand. You are calling with a hand with equity, but you can still win. You're not always behind here.
I think this guy is
And I wonder here-
leading with a flush draw.
Again, I don't know what kind of player this is, and sometimes I give people a little bit too much
Right.
credit, but
He's
if
got a
he was
pair and a
decent
flush draw.
player here,
Or sorry,
based upon what we
yeah,
just
flush
talked
draw.
about and the ace of clubs coming on the turn, he should be able to pile
Right.
straights here. Now, if he can pile straights and he has like king queen off in his range and he has 7-8 suited, that's 20 hands right there. And then you've got
Yeah, Ace Queen with the Queen
other
of Clubs,
flush draws that he might have been betting.
right?
So you have a bunch of hands that beat you here at the end, a bunch of hands. You're getting 2-1. So let's say that 20.
All right,
hands
let's
is-
see.
I mean, obviously this is very liberally, right? But let's say that he's thinking this way, where you possibly some of those. Let's say 15 or 16 hands beat you, right? Then you're getting 2-1. You need to find 8 hands that you beat. You need to find 8 hands that you beat. Now you could look at this from an MDF perspective as well. We talked about that a little bit earlier, where it's like, oh well,
Pocket nines or tens with the club
know,
overvaluing
what else
their
am I
their
getting
play,
here
their hand played this
with-
way.
am I in the top 50% of my range that I'm getting here with? It's possible, but I would look at it like, hey, I'm getting 2-1. Can I find, say, like 1/2 of hand? I mean, is it 2 times
Too funny.
value
As I said, we're
if
just
you want
listening
to-
to
is
in
it
the
less than
background
2
here.
times value, then is it less than 2 times of value of bluffs? That's what I'm really looking at.
Let's take a look at this hand here.
16 combos of value.
This is not
Can
it.
we find 8 hands that we beat? That's how I would look at it.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to find those bluffs.
So this one here, I'm
And
49th out of
people are
90,
also saying, would he jam
95th,
sets here?
98 left,
Sets of 10,
with
sets of
31 making the
9s.
money.
I think it's. I mean, this one's pretty close.
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
don't
be
think
honest
he
with you.
should.
So
I don't think
got
he
a
should
ways, got to
overcome
lose
that
half 70 people here,
tens or
right?
nines.
Graham W
And
says
one of which
7,
can't
8,
be
and
us.
king, queen, no club are not going
So let's
bananas
just keep going
like
here.
this. Graham, did
Just
you
keep
listen to
trudging
what I
along.
just said? It should go bananas. We shouldn't be concerned about the hero having a flush here. Now, maybe the general population doesn't think that way. I'm just at this stacked up for sure.
Yeah, and do you think it's better? Because I could definitely have pocket aces here too, but I couldn't have aces with the ace of clubs. So with the jacks, with jack of clubs, there's really only one flush you could have. I was thinking king queen of clubs.
Yeah,
Now, if he doesn't
which means
have
you
king,
already
queen
had.
off here. If he doesn't flat
Right,
with king,
that's
queen
exactly.
off,
So
you
listen to
have
this hand in the background,
obviously that
King
changes
Queen,
things,
which means he
a whole
flops the
lot.
straight,
I think
and he
it's
has
probably pretty
a
close.
flush draw. So he's got a royal flush draw, or sorry, a straight flush draw. That's
I would-
what you're talking about.
Could we flip a coin here?
but
You know what I'm saying?
having
Like,
a-
Yeah.
having a
I'm not
queen
gonna-
high,
I'm not gonna,
ace queen
you
of
know,
clubs
I could maybe
in his
see
hand,
sometimes calling, maybe
or
sometimes
ace
folding.
X
when Doug
with a
Cole
queen of clubs in his
like that
hand,
thing with, like,
because
the
now he's
other
flops an
side
open
line,
ender,
he's like, well,
and he has
this is ace of
overcards.
spades, I'm gonna call. He's
Right,
actually
so he's
trying
got
to
lots
call
of
25%.
equity here, so
He needed to pick
it
the
makes
right card
sense.
twice.
Yeah.
He was gonna call at 25% of the time. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you frequency this one at like 50%. What ended up happening?
So I was thinking in real time it should probably be a flush or nothing. But now looking back at it, he could be jamming a straight if he's thinking about it right. So I did make the call. And he had king queen offsuit with the king of clubs.
Yeah,
Now,
see,
did I
that's
know that he had king queen off?
that's exactly what I just said, right? He's
It
got a
was in real
flush
time.
draw, right?
Oh,
for exactly the same reason. Ace queen or king queen. Yeah,
I swear to
exactly.
God.
Oh, this is such an easy
Swear to
game.
God. So he had king queen off. King queen off with king of clubs. I mean, that's gonna obviously be the easiest.
Yeah.
King queen for him to.
Yeah. Oh, so
That's
easy.
gonna be the easiest
Easy
one
game.
for him to.
All right, I think
bet
that should be
across, right?
just about the end there.
'Cause now, like, it's like, I mean, look at the. You can't have a queen high flush unless it's queen jack of club, right? If he's got king queen with a king of clubs, and then, you know, the only other flushes you would have would be like some sort of like suited connectors. I guess maybe like once like if you were opening suited connectors from under the gun, right? 7-6 of clubs, 5-6 of clubs.
Yeah,
you know, so-
probably not.
It does not look nice outside.
Um,
There's a high
thank you
wind
very much for
soon.
the call, I
Well,
appreciate
it's
it.
got
Yeah,
lots of
thank
winds
you.
right now.
all right,
I'm gonna go for a run here.
all right, guys.
It's 16
Wrap it up
degrees
for us
right now.
This week.
Ooh.
Thank you as always for joining us. You kept it real in the live chat. And,
All right. Well, that's
yeah,
going to be the end
see
for
you on the show.
Bart Hansen.
Take a look in the description. Click on the link in the description, and we always pre-submit the hands. So we'd love to hear some new callers on here as well. Until next week.
What do we have here? Let's fold that. That's not a good hand. I think that's the end of it. He's done there. So. All right. As I said, we just got the two hands going on here right now. It is 3:15, so probably shouldn't be playing any more here. You know how it goes. Kind of a glutton for punishment. 6 max PKO. Battle PKO? It's a turbo though. What was a hand on this one? I'm just looking to see what the previous hand was on this. Not that it matters, but... battle 7 max turbo. Oh, my little dog is being a turkey. The battle 7 max. Max turbo. It's 50. There's 11. All right, let me get that third table up. This one. I think there's just 3 tables that we're playing right here. All right, so we do see that Baruzzi is playing at both spots here. Got lots of history with this guy as well. Do we not have another one over here? We don't. We've lost this guy because it doesn't allow us to look his name up. Bit of a off call there. Deuce. I just was looking up Shark Scope and looking up this player specifically. So I have a different note on here about style of his play and whatnot. I'm like, that doesn't, what's going on here? And I look at Shark Scope. See what he's got here. I got a gut shot and a pair. It's tough. So we're on this one here. I'm not going to fold for one. Really need to hit this. Right, we've got 6 outs here. Oh no, we have more than that. We have 10 outs. Because we could hit the 6, we can hit the 8, we can hit the 4. So 3, 4, 5, 9 outs, I guess. What do we got over here? Anyway, so I was just looking this up here, right? What is this? Chunk it in there. We're not going to chunk it in here. That's a lot of aces this guy's had. I think he's had aces in 3 hands here. Where are we at over on this one? It's got lots of gamble to him. All in. I mean, we have a nut flush draw, right? So we would just call this off. What do we got over here? Is that a good hand to go? I guess that's good enough. I'm all in over here with pocket 6s. I don't know how good this is, but this is the only one we're really trying to get through. The rest of it's not fine. I get it. He may call here, but this is really the only one that we're worried about. And we're out. So it turns out we're actually out in 2 spots there, right? It was at 10s and 68th place. What am I trying to do over here? So much shit going on. 164 in this 8 max. 164, and we're out in 68th place. Let's take a quick look at that, because this guy's got 10s, yeah, 9s and 10s. It's a bit strange that this guy would call that there. With 2 all-ins in front of him, he thinks that that's the best hand. This is why you have to be better than that and be able to fold your hand, right? So I said 6s is not a very good hand. I don't like it at all, but this is what it is. All right, so we have we got moved here. Let's get our other table up. This is the 7 max. So we just have 2 tables up right now. I'm not going to play anymore. Actually thinking I might have a nap, but we'll chunk it in here. chug it in there. As it turns out, we have Ace King on both tables. Ace King, Ace of Hearts, King of Diamonds here. On the other table, I have Ace of Diamonds, King of Hearts. But I mean, I don't usually do this, but I'm actually trying to entice this time. That's why I'm doing it this time. I want them to call because I can. It puts them to the test, not me, right? And so on this other table, same thing, just jam. I'm not sure why he's betting that there like that. Right, so we'll take all those chippies. He's got 3 outs there because he can't hit the jack, right? He only has 3 outs. Well, no, he has more than that because he is open-ended, so he could hit the king. No, he can't hit the king. Oh yeah, he can hit the king. Can't even see straight. Can't even speak straight, and he comes right back. That's awesome. What's over here? Do we have a... Not very good with rating out to people, but let's see what we got over here. Let's run a 1 minute ad break. I'll be right back. Jack 9, Jack deuce, Queen 8. What the deuce is this? Knucklehead. That's a guy's name is Knucklehead. Over here, that's what the guy's name is, Knucklehead. Have a big drink of water. Raise. Well, let's get in there. Ooh. Well, I guess we'll take that one down as well. We are in the lead, by the way, and we have more than double the next person. Or just short of double, sorry. We have 47,000. They have 25,000. So just short of double. This guy's got lots. I'm not sure why it's like that. What is this guy? Ooh, this is a good one. We like this guy. Sharkscope has him at 17,500 tournaments, and he's down. I believe this guy's down $16,000. Maybe it's 60,000. He's not doing very well here. Yeah. Okay. There we go. 17.6 thousand. And he's down $62,000. This is a 20-cent tournament. Right? That's a lot of tournaments that you're losing. That's awesome. Wow. All right, what do we got over here? I've got lots of people that I just gave shoutouts to, so hopefully that helps. Yeah, and there it is. He lost all of his chips. Right? What did he have? King, queen, and this pocket queens over here, I think. No, he had ace, king. Ace, king. So again, just overvaluing his hands, right? $60-40. Oh, that's pretty good for him. Yeah. Nothing wrong with 60-40. Pretty sure he's going to do it again, right? So we'll just keep doing the same thing. Not that we're not respecting our chips here, but we want to give this guy every opportunity to raise. So we're going to look to call, check raise, because I'm pretty sure he's got to come over the top here. We come over here. I'm under the gun. I did raise all in with my ace queen. This guy's got some gamble and he'll want to come back at me. Yep. Yay. Uh-oh, what a great double up that is. I'll come back over here, so same thing. Oh, I'm a bit surprised he doesn't jam here. So we'll do the same thing as we did before. We'll just bet 26.8 here. I did flop middle pair here, but there's 3 players here, so we're just not going to get in there. We're going to have to hit here, right? A 3 would be the very best. It's so innocuous. Now we're just going to fold, right? Because everyone else has the reason that they would have flush draw in here. The king has still got us beat. I mean, this guy should be having a full house at this point with this sort of conglomerate. He's not worried about the 2 so much, but he is worried about the flush, right? And the fact that these guys both called, that they would have a flush here. So he should have a full house. Yeah, see, that's exactly what I just said, right? Exactly. It's just so easy. It's just so transparent. I mean, how do you not put the guys on these type of hands? What do you think that they called with? All right, so just to put that into context, people check their winners and they bet their losers, right? So he's betting the deuce into 3 other people, me, him, and him, and he's behind at least in one of those spots. So then he happens to hit it, but he hits the one card that he can't hit, right? Yeah, that's a that's too funny. What's going on here? How come I... There we go. My keyboard is messed. What the deuce is going on here? Let's restart that. Excellent work here. What do we have over here? I just we've been losing to this guy a lot, so we like that. I'm still in third place. I've lost a bunch of chips along the way here, but I'm still in first place. That's a good turn there. So I was out the whole way. Let's find this table here. They just got moved. This is that battle. Okay, so we should have this one over here, right? We'll be all in. What is Blue Lions? I'm assuming he's from Detroit, right? 3 outs here. No, 3 outs? No. I might have to just rebuy into this tournament. What the? This is not a very good hand, by the way, but they don't have a lot of big stacks. And what hands are they just calling with here? It'd be unusual for them to show up with like aces, kings here. Diamond? No. 9 outers there, so thank you. That's a good one. It's much needed. This guy's in third place in the tournament. This is an easy call here. Oops, where are we at here? This one over here. This is an easy call. But see, this is the problem with raise call. What do you think you're losing to? Or like, what do you think they have to call that? Like, I have the nuts here, right? He's got Queen Jack or a set, and he's just trying to let these guys catch up each time. Most people are not that good, so I have to have the nuts here, right? There just shouldn't be any queens in this guy's range. He's got ace 3 maybe? I don't know. Who cares? Don't look at this one. Yeah, that's what I said. That didn't make any sense. I am currently 9th in this tournament, so I went down to 4 bigs, so it's 2,300 or so. The other tournament we're at, we got like 7 minutes left in this tournament. What's this one? 20 make the money right now. Right? So we're 48th out of 62. We got lots of time still in this one. Another 6 minutes to go. And this one is just an easy fold. Let's get out of the way. I've got to kind of bail out here fairly quick. I've got to go jump in the shower, Mrs. Frostmage and whatnot. Oh, I would have went runner on that, but that's not a good hand to do that with, right? So just get out of the way. So I'm at 18 bigs. I'm just less than the starting stack. That's not good. Excuse me. Bet all in. Yeah, this is not folding here. It should be the best, yeah. 60-40, and almost drawing dead now. Okay, so we just got moved over here. Let's go find this table. This is our 7 max. Let's update our spreadsheet here as well. 7 max deep stack is 110. And then there's 34 in this other one. So we haven't had 80 caches today, which is not good. So we still got some work to do here. So we'll come back over this other one. So look at where we're at. We had 2,500 chips before. Right? Thank you here. Over here we have 50th out of 63. I think that's actually changed, right? Yeah, we're 27th out of 63. It just hasn't updated yet. So let's keep going here. 2 minutes left in this tournament, by the way. Got 10 minutes or so. I'm working hard at losing all my chips in this tournament. We have a gut shot in the back door that would just get out of the way. That's not a good hand. Right? We may have won there, but that's not a good hand. Because that's not, especially when the very next hand is pocket kings. Ooh, that's great. Just dead cards. Do your diary. Giggity giggity. Uh, 28th out of 64 in the other tournament. We are 8th out of 20th in this one. Still lots of play going on. We're coming back to our chips because we just dunked a ton of chips here. What do we have over here? Queen 6 offsuit is not a good hand. Jack 10 offsuit, but at least we're in the blind. It's not going to cost us anything to call. Still waiting for these two to see what they're going to do. I'm going to have to do a little bit of reading here in just a minute or two. Said I need a nap. But I don't think I'm going to get a nap in, so. That's good. I mean, well, we could go broke here, right? I wouldn't have mattered there. We were still ahead, right? He's got queen 8 and we had king queen. It goes runner runner full house. It didn't matter at all. We were still ahead there. And over here, we actually just got rid of this guy. So we got some more chips. We're now back into 3rd place. This guy was leading before, but now we're in 3rd place. He is in 6th place. Trying hard to get rid of our chips here. Trying real hard, but just not happening. We're over on this other one. 810, 19th out of 63. A 5 on the river here would be just delicious. No, we need a 5 there. Not even an ace, just a 5. Any 5 would have worked. Because we can't beat anything at this point. At an ace, and it's fine. Just get it away. 10-8, we'll just get out of the way. That's not a very good hand. We got the... Interesting that we have the asthma guy over here. So something's happened along the way. This guy's playing in a 55-cent tournament, and that's fine. My note on this guy, I just did a shark scope on the guy a while ago. He's played about 19,000 tournaments. He's at 0. He went up a shit ton of chips. Went up like a ton of cash. Between 2,000 and 16,700. He was up the whole way, and he obviously bought into a bunch of tournaments and won the worst downward spiral and lost it all. Fucking hate that shit. Jeez Louise. Fucking. Oh. Frustrating. That's twice we've had that today. Aces with the kicker coming like that, or with kings, and an ace shows up twice. At least twice I can think of, anyway. Sky Server Pete. Oh, sorry. Oh, St. Pete. That's probably St. Petersburg. That's more likely what that is. What do we got over here? I mean, this is just a no-brainer, right? I mean, especially after that shit that was here. Just get out of the way. Weasel over here. I say that with all love, of course, but all right, we're 36 out of 62 in this tournament. 23 make the money, so we got a little bit of work to do. We are in for one buy-in. In the other, oops, what happened over here? We got moved, I guess. 7 turbo. Max 7 turbo, done. We flopped top 2, right? So let's put pressure on here. It's bad enough. Usually I would go 10.6, but it's good enough. Drawing 2 outer, that's what we like. So we get all those chips as well. We should be moving back up here. We'll go all in with our pocket 4s and to put pressure onto these guys. Ace King should call off, which means we're still ahead there, but this is what it is. We move up into 3rd place on that last one over here. Jack Deuce is not going to be good enough for us to call here, so we'll just get out of the way. This guy here is in 2nd place. We're in 3rd place. Awkward that they put us on the same table. There's so many tables here. When I say so many, there's only 5. I have Ace King. I'm not folding here. I have Ace 6 suited on the other table. We're just going to fold out of the way. I know a lot of people think this is a tight, a nitty fold here, but you can never, you're not beating anything, right? You're never going to beat anything. You're never going to get Ace King to fold. So this is the problem. It looks good, but you're in trouble. But they could have, but yes, but it goes the other way as well. If they have shit hands, it's 60-40, right? Right? There it is. And now, what can we beat? Can't beat anything, right? This is exactly what happens. Your hand is just shit, so it's just better to wait for a better opportunity. And this guy's got some gamble in here as well, right? So he threw his whole tournament on shit. So we got 2 minutes or so. 2 minutes until the break time. So we are going to run an ad during the break. I am also going to have a beverage. You can see that there's ads coming up there. World's greatest hot dog vendor. I think I have my shirt on somewhere. Got a 9-10 over here. Easy fold. 3rd out of, well, you can see how close this is, right? Oops, that's the wrong one. This table over here. You can see how close we are. 0.3 difference, right? So we're like less than 1,000 apart. This is statistically a tie. The other guy in 1st place actually has more than double, actually closer to 3 times what our stacks are. Like that. Jack 8, we're just going to fold out of the way. Over on the other table, we have Ace 4. This is the same thing as the Ace 6. Just fold, get out of the way. And here we are. Oh, ironically, speaking of Ace 6, so we'll probably be pretty good here, right? But he's leading, he should be all in. Like, why bet here? Right? Anyway. We got Ace 6 for reals over here. Just fold out of the way. He's the 2nd in chip leader. Like, even though we're statistically the same, we're not going to take that risk. We got Ace 3 on this side. Our hand's probably still ahead of this, but we're not going to take that risk. Oops, I totally forgot to change the tabletop on this. I do apologize. We're on a flush draw. We still have an ace, but I don't think the ace is going to be any good, so we only have 9 outs. He's just debating, It's neither or, right? So if he doesn't have any of that, he should just check and take the free card, or bet enough to put them all in. It's neither or. And there it is, right? Which is exactly what I just said. It's just check, call. All right, we're going to take a quick quick break. In the meantime, we are going to run an ad. I'll be back in just like 3 minutes or less. I'm going to go get a beverage. Right back. right, back at it, friends. So we know. Cheers, big ears. Anyone that's hanging out, love you. Thanks for being here. You could have a bunch of other things you could have been doing, but you decided to spend and share your time with me today. That's awesome. Let's take a quick look here. We're in for 1, 3, 4, 5 tournaments today. I was not updating that. So it should be there. Yeah, there we go. So we're in for 5. At the bottom of the screens there, it just tells you where we're at. What's this one over here? And we're back at it. 7-3. This is a pretty easy fold, right? Oops, the wrong table here. 12 seconds left in this one. We're 39th out of 59. 23 make the money. 1 bullet in this tournament. This one over here, we're 4th out of 45. We're at the end of the 6th, so we're going to come up to it in just a minute or two here. A minute 50 seconds left in this tournament, so we're in a good spot on that, as well as what's 14 make the money in this one. So now if you're going to play, you kind of want to put a bunch of pressure on these guys. So for the next minute and a half, for the next 2 hands or so, we're going to run the time down because we don't want to give these guys the opportunity to rebuy and get another stack in there. We want to punish them for playing passively to begin with. So when this guy, the number 3 guy, and I'm the number 4, is taking all this time, we absolutely love the fact that he's doing this. Because more or less, we're going to do this exact same thing. Got 1 minute left in the rebuy right now. We're going to run ours down. Probably not all the way through, though we probably could. We don't want to give any opportunity for these guys to play. We got 29 seconds in the bank, so we are going to run it down. Because it should be only like 20 seconds left, 10 seconds, some shit like that. There we go. Because even if they went bang bang all in, the time would run out, right? They wouldn't have any opportunity. Right, so we've run out the whole minute and a half here. Love it. And now if someone calls and goes out, they can't rebuy. So we're going to change this top here. We are 4th out of 45 in this one. Battle max. One of the things, like I track a lot of different data points, right? For a bunch of different reasons. One deep stack has got 119 in it, and this battle max has 80 people in it. I track a bunch of different data points because I want to see on par, like comparatively, how I do in different stages of the tournament. Now we don't need to wait, right? We'll just fold out of the way. Oops. I like being right here. So we've dropped down a little bit, yeah. Nutter Butters. Welcome in, viewers. We are just folding and folding and folding around and around and around we go. Because there's nothing else to do. Right? Can't play that. 42 out of 50, 42nd place out of 52 here. So got a little bit more to go. Lots of time, but we got to just try to pick our spots at this point. This guy's just jamming any ace here, right? There's nothing wrong with that, by the way. He's showing up here with ace queen. What did he show up with the last hand? Ace 10. I think he's just taking all these ones down. King 9. The king 9 hand, we would have had him because we would have flopped trips, but that's confirmation bias, right? Ace 8, pocket queens. Flop an open ender. And it hits the ace. So let's get some more here. Fifth. Why? See, I love when he throws shit here. He's behind. He gets lucky and he thinks that's the best way to do that. I would love it. So if you're watching here, don't do that. That's a terrible play. Right? If it's in the rebuy period and he can come back, but he's out and he's left. Right? And you have the drawing hand. And so you have to hit to get lucky. He doesn't. Right? My TikTok or my Instagram, sorry, feed kind of blows up with some of this shit. It's just total clickbait, and I love it. But it says, which hand would you rather have and why? And you've flopped a set or a top set, doesn't matter what it is, but a set against some sort of drawing hand, and everyone come up with their crazy ass math. Oh, equity says plus that the other thing. I'm like, dude, you don't have to hit. They do. What's the problem here? My mouse is not working. Oh, what's wrong with my mouse? There we go. Cheers, big ears. What do we got over here? Miss Moonlight. Fuck you, chlorophyll. I don't know what that means. That's my coach, my running coach. This is a good fold, right? It's on the other table. Fold this pre-flop because it's not very good. Let's take a look, see how many tables are here, because we all got lots of tables here. Long ways to go on this one still. What about this one? Got 6 tables over here on the other table. 11 bigs, we don't like that. That's not good. But on the other table, I mean, this is a fold as well, but 49. Right? 5th out of 37 people. Hebe. 14 make the money, so you gotta lose another 20 some people. 20 some people on that one. Oh my. See, this is a, oops, is this the right one? This is the same sort of one, same sort of thing. Right? He actually has the best hand, and he threw to this guy because of the poor play that he made here. Right? But it absolutely makes sense in the same sort of vein that you're talking about here, that he would do that. He's got 2 overcards and... Oops, what's happening here? Oh. Alright, right, whatever. 2 overcards and a gut shot. Oops. And over here, well, our table just got moved. What the deuce is going on here? Why is my mouse acting up like this? It's being a little wanker. On the other one here, I have a 4 deuce. So he raised a 2, he called. I only had 1 left. One big blind to call. And I thought I clicked it, and then it moved over, and it actually went to the fold button. So it is what it is, I guess. What are you thinking about there? What are you thinking about? This guy's never folding or never calling there. All right, nice hand, nice hand. We're just pushing against this guy. Yeah. 9, 10, queen. None of it. Nice hand, nice hand. What the fuck is going on here? Oops. And so let's come over to the other table. As I said, we've got lots of history with this guy. We've seen him in a bunch of different tournaments, right? Different plays over and over and over again. They both check with the ace or with the queen here, right? So we need a 9 here. 9 or a 10. No, that's not going to cut it here. So I should be out of this tournament. 42. 119, we're out of 42. So we're not having a very good date at all in terms of this. This is the last tournament that we have. This one right here. So we're all in. Let's open this bad boy up and see where we're at. 14 make the money. We're in 22nd place, so just a bunch off there. Let's go see what Walton H 82 is looking like. 100 bigs. We've got 12. He's got 100. It's a lot of chips. Excuse me. Oops. And then, like I said, so we're out of this one as well. So that's the last one. It's the only tournament we have going on right now. Oops, that's the wrong one. I was looking at the wrong tournament. Wrong tournament table. My mouse is absolutely shit right now. Let's try charging it. I have a wireless keyboard and I have a wireless mouse. There we go. How many searches do we have today? 3 left. Let's check some more. Wow. Fuck's sakes. This guy, right? This fish. Well, what is it you want, right? Out in 32nd place. 6-8 suited, and I have ace-10, and he just hits the runner, or hits the flush. It is what it is, I guess, right? It's frustrating. What did I say? It was out in 38th place. All right, that's going to be the end of it for me. I'm out for the day. No tournaments there. Let's just have a quick look here, see where we're looking. Thanks to everyone for being here. There's a bunch of different shoutouts out we're going along earlier there. Miss Moonlight 0330, Sky Server Shannon, Mr. Daly, again, Beam Doctor. There's a bunch of shoutouts below, as well as their Twitch channels. We're giving shoutouts. Go check these guys out. They're all awesome. They're all fantastic, each in their own right. That being said, we're going to be out of here. You guys have a great day. Have a great evening, afternoon.